All right, we're live. Holy moly. I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes for people to start trickling in. And I'm going to go ahead and tweet this out. If you are watching, which I don't think there's anybody watching just yet, um, help a girl out and tweet it. Let's see. I started a little bit early. I told everybody 8 o'clock. And it's only 7:45, so I've started a little too early, but he'll be all right. I started early, get time for things to set up, and it's not even been a minute. Neighbors next door are not even home, and their dog is going ape. The dog's supposed to be deaf, but it apparently can hear me. It's crazy. Let's see. Oh, I shouldn't have started early. I should have waited, but it will be all good all the time. um, for some reason, I couldn't wait any longer. I know I said I was going to start at 8, and I don't know. I'm trying to find the. Oh, you're not late. I started early. It's supposed to be at 8 o'clock, and I started at 7:45. So everybody was prepared for me to start then, and I didn't start right. But it always takes forever to get things up and going, so I figure, I'll just start early, and that way, I can not. There we go. There it is. I'm trying to find the link to this to share, because I never like tweet out that I've started live streaming, and then later everybody's like, "You didn't tell us," and I'm like, "Sorry." um, you guys will have to bear with me here in a minute. I can't read the live chat, so I'll get into it in a minute. Start reading the live chat. That's another reason why I wanted to start early, is I figured if I started early, the time it takes me to get through all this stuff to tweet it out and so forth and so on will help me out. So, oh guys, okay, we're starting to get people coming in now, so I will stop goofing off, or maybe I'll still keep goofing off. Who knows? You never know with me. But now that everybody's starting to get in, I'm going to ask everybody, how are you? Which you guys may have already been discussing that while I'm messing with this. How are you guys this Friday? What's going on with you? My neighbors are not home next door, but the dog next door, who's supposed to be deaf, is just carrying on like he's lost his best friend. And I really want to go over there and save the dog. I just really want to get him and be like, it's okay. So I'm trying to figure out how he can hear me if he's deaf. And like I said, guys, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this tweeted out and put it on Instagram. And it doesn't take much, and my brain doesn't work. And I'm also functioning on very little sleep. I stayed up for Joji's new CD last night, and so my brain's just like, please just shut up and go to bed. And I'm like, no, we must go on. And my brain's like, no, we must not go on. It's like Titanic. I'm saying, I'll never let go, and my brain's like, let me go. Just let me go. I want to go die right now. Let's see. What have you guys been up to today? Have you had like a good Friday? Which I hope so. I hope you've had a good Friday. And Oh, somebody just went live on Instagram and they were telling me about it. They're like, hey, I'm going live. You can join in if you want. And I'm like, sorry. I kind of can't right now. Fridays are my thing. Fortunately, anyway. All right, so let me go over the chat and see what I've missed. You're babysitting again, Evil? I'm starting to wonder if you're babysitting or you have another child now. Thank you guys for sharing. That does help me out when you guys share. It helps kind of get the word out more and more that I'm live streaming. I'm glad to hear that you're... Okay, one thing I'm going to tell you guys is I'm terrible at pronouncing names. But everybody was getting on to me the other day that when people come to the chat and I talk to them, I never mention their name. So I'm just talking to no one. And so like, you're going to have to start saying names. And I'm like... But what I mispronounce a lot of names. So if I mispronounce your name, just leave me a message like, no, that's not my name. I also need glasses because the little print is so little. I'm like, what? Outrum, I'm doing great. Other than having a headache, I've had a phenomenal day. And I'm glad to hear that you are doing good as well. Thank you for tweeting it out. Thank you, please. I need all the pillows I can get right now because I'm uncomfortable. Like, I'm so pumped and happy, but yet my body's just like, I'm glad you're feeling good. Let's just call it a night. And I'm like, but no, I'm having, a good day. It's one of those days where if you've had a good day, you really don't want it to end. You're just like, I'm not ending this day. We are going to see this through. Let's see. What should we discuss tonight, guys? Because I never know really what to discuss. I think last time we left off with last week's live stream, we were talking about movies. And I did tweet out the other day asking everybody, like, with Halloween approaching, what is your go-to movie? Like, what do you look forward to watching at this specific time of the year that you're just like, yes! And I'm like, what is your go-to movie? Thank you for sending me a picture. I would like to see that. Yes, I was going to ask everybody this. I was on Facebook the other day. I think it might have been earlier today. And people were already talking about Hocus Pocus. And there was like a steady stream of people saying that they hate Hocus Pocus. And that made me feel weird. Like, am I the only person that doesn't hate Hocus Pocus? Because I enjoy it. I've seen the movie a gazillion times. And I can quote it word for word almost. But I don't hate it. Like, I think I may have worn out its expiration date for me sometimes, but I do like it. But like on horror movies, like, I don't know, like me, I watch horror movies all year long. So when people are like, oh yes, it's Halloween time, it's time to break out my horror movies, and I'm like, I kind of watch them all. The only time I don't watch horror movies is usually around Christmas time because I've got so many Christmas movies I want to watch. So like literally from Thanksgiving to January 1st, I am watching Christmas movies. So, but like for me, I was trying to explain to my kids the other night. They were like, Nightmare Before Christmas is a Christmas movie. And I'm like, no. It is from August to January movie. You can watch this for Halloween. You can watch it for Christmas. It's all good. And they still don't get it. So, I don't know. I thought the same thing. Like, how can you say that Hocus Pocus is terrible? Like, they're like, I hate that movie. It's so overrated. And I'm like, I'm just going to stay out of this. Like, earlier today, I have 2 Facebook accounts. And one is mine and one my mom. My mom cannot start a Facebook to save her life. So I started one for her under my name. And she wasn't paying attention to a picture and she posted it and I guess it was kind of political. And mom had like the outpouring of people on her on the Facebook page like talking to her and I'm like, Mom, please start reading before you post. So I don't know. That's me. I try to stay out of stuff. So when people were talking about how they didn't like Hocus Pocus, I was just like, I'm gonna stay out of this. I actually grabbed a bag of chips, just like waiting for the the attacking to start, and it did. I mean, they started attacking each other, but um, for me, I think when Halloween starts getting here, like the first movie I'll break out is usually like Hocus Pocus, um, Nightmare Before Christmas, Corpse Bride, Beetlejuice. I'm trying to think. There's so many of them. Like I first break out like the more comical ones or animated ones, and then I start working into the other stuff. I try to watch like the Nightmare Before Elm Street, like the original, or the Jasons or the Michaels, but I never get into it. I just it's not kind of my thing, I guess. I watched the first one or two and I'm just like, done with it. Let's go on to the next one. So I always ask everybody else, what is your Halloween movies? What are you interested in watching? Or are you just like, nah, just forget it. I'm not in the mood for it. You're in the next room. um, let's see. Let's see. Yes, last year my kids wanted to dress up as Hocus Pocus, and my oldest one was like, "I am not wearing the buck teeth and the the wig," and I'm like, "But that's the point." And she's like, "No, it's not the point. I'm not wearing it." I'm like, "Party pooper." Oh, is it about time for the baby to go nap nap? Or well, actually, this late, I don't know. It won't be nap nap. I guess it would be nap nap because if they don't sleep through the night, it's nap nap, and then they start sleeping through the night. I haven't had a baby in a while, so it's like we've got to remember these things again. So, but I don't know. The other day, somebody got into like this big discussion about Stephen King, and that's like my thing. I love talking about Stephen King. So if I'm not talking about music, I'll be talking about Stephen King. And I'm desperately trying to stay off the subject of music because, of course, last night Joji's new CD hit. And I'm just like, I want to talk about it so bad. And just message me if the kids are not being good, okay? Just going to let everybody know this weekend we're having like a pretty, our weekends are pretty cool here. We have like my nieces come over, and right now they're in the other room trying not to come out here because they know I'm out here live streaming. And one of my kids was like, "I'm gonna sneak out there," and I'm like, "No, you're not. This is my live stream." I mean, I don't talk about nothing bad or nothing, but still, I get distracted easy. If you distract me, that's it. I'm not gonna get this done. Anyway, I'm trying to think. Thank goodness the dad just got home and be like, "Okay, it's your baby's crying." Yeah. I don't blame you for not being happy. I wouldn't be either because, like I said, my youngest is only 4, and it's been 4 years since screaming and crying. So it's just like I've got to remember what that's like. Because I was real lucky. Most of my kids were very quiet. My oldest one, she just wanted to be held, and as long as you made her uh comforted, she was fine. My twins were actually sorry, I can't read the messages on the screen, so I have to like come down here. Hi, how are you? And again, I'm terrified to say names because I'm so terrible at saying names that when I say them, it's just so bad. Like the other night, I did a music review and I had to say the artist's name, and I am 90% sure that I probably butchered it. But I am glad I don't have the Karens coming to my videos like they used to, and they would be like, "It's not how you pronounce that. This is how you pronounce it." And I'm like, "Well, thank you, Webster's Dictionary." Anyway, let's get off of that and go to something else. Trying to think. What do you guys want to talk about? Because I always just pick the subject and just kind of roll with it. And then I mean, I don't know if you guys really want to talk about that subject. Or you're just kind of rolling with me on this one. Oh, Lord, there's a bunch of stuff I'm missing. People are talking to me, and the chat didn't scroll up, so I'm like, eh. I have a funny feeling, guys. If I randomly just get up through the live chat or the live stream, just bear with me because it's Friday. Kids have been in school all week, so Friday hits, and it's almost like we go nuts. And my poor little brain's just like, I just can't do this no more this week. Please just go to bed. Let's see. Man, it's busy in your house on Friday nights. Evil, I mean, either somebody's cooking, there's a baby crying, somebody's doing homework. I'm really happy. The school that my kids are going to, homework is like one of those deals where if you just didn't finish it in class or you have a test, that's why you have homework. Unless my kids are lying to me. Better check on that later. We'll have to open up all the backpacks and be like, do you have homework? Let's see. Okay. Oh, Lord, there's more I've missed. Okay. You're joking. His homework is... It's Friday. Somebody needs to send those teachers like a message with that what's her name? It's like, it's Friday. It's so annoying. We should send it to all the teachers. It's Friday. Don't give the... What just touched my arm? I think it was a frog. We have a frog on our porch that just randomly jumps out and attacks. And it always attacks me. My kids are like, Mommy, where's the frog? It's on me. Just come get it. That's not fair. It's Friday. Do these teachers in Texas not have lives? Or are they just like, I mean, they don't have to go to school anymore. It's online learning. So, I mean, it's like they can sit at home and be like halfway dressed to teach the kids. I mean, you got, you know, just gonna go on. Gonna get on my soapbox. I believe my brain is too. Like, I'm not joking. I will start like a topic or a conversation, and then halfway through the sentence, I'm like, I don't know what I was saying. Do you guys know who I am? So, I have this window open behind me, so I'm hoping I can keep an ear out. You forgot your homework? Do you really have homework? Do we need to do it tonight? Don't get me into trouble. I have a feeling when I get on this live stream, it's going to be like 10 o'clock tonight, and I'm going to be going through everybody's backpack. Do you have homework? Do you have homework? Do you have homework? Look at me. Do you have homework? I'll know if you're not telling me. Oh. Well, the good thing is you have tonight, tomorrow night, and Sunday night to do homework. If you're where I'm at. I don't know, this online stuff, I'm actually really glad Alabama didn't go to online, because there was talk that we were going to do it. And I think some are doing it. I mean, it was kind of more of your option. If you wanted to online learn, you can online learn. If you wanted to go to school, you could. Now, I didn't have the option because I registered my kids late. It was literally like a month before school started, they were registered. So I was behind. Which, needless to say, my oldest one was like, okay, we need to register for me to be a cheerleader. Sweetheart, I hate to tell you this, but we're kind of late registering. I don't think you're going to be a cheerleader. Man, somebody, you know what? You need to email the teachers of Snickers and say, here, you know, it's that Joe Pesci joke for the Snickers commercial. It's like you see Joe Pesci and he's like just ranting and raving. They hand him a Snickers and he turns back into a normal person. These teachers need a Snickers. There's something wrong with them. Uh, phew. Okay, hold on a second. I hear talking from that window behind me. So I'm fixing to go. So, give me a minute. I'm back. Sorry. As I figured, it was my son. There's a house full of women tonight. So it's like me, my mom, nieces, my kids. And so my son is just like, there's women everywhere. And so he's going to torment everybody. So I had to get up and like chase him back down the hallway and say, get in the bed. I do agree with you. I think with this online schooling, it's going to be a combination of bad because one, you have parents trying to teach your kids at home. I don't know about you parents, if any of you are parents in the live chat. The way I did math in school is not the way they're doing math now. Now, I'm really good at math, and it doesn't take me very long to pick up and go on. But when my daughter brings home this piece of paper, and it's one piece of paper is an entire problem, and she's only, I mean, she's not even, she hasn't even hit high school. She's in third grade. So it's like, what are you doing? And she's like, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do this. And I'm like, you do realize that you could have done that in one step and been done. And she's like, but I'll miss it if I do it that way. And I'm like, so I think it's gonna cause problems because like some kids are not gonna be able to get the education like they would if they were in class. Also, these kids are at home, they're not socializing, they're not getting to be with their friends. So it is good. It could cause a lot of problems with kids socializing and learning how to be with people. So well, dear Lord, Evil, I feel sorry for her. A house full of men and one girl. Oh, I don't miss school. I'm gonna be honest with you. The other day I was doing some homework with my daughter and I was like, man, this is, this is pretty fun. I remember taking notes and having vocabulary and all that stuff. And then she brought home her math and I just went, never mind. I don't miss school at all. Don't want to go back to that. But anyway, but I kind of feel sorry for my son in a way, but I also feel sorry for my daughters because my son is the only boy in the house, except for the dog, which I guess you could count him because he's a guy. I don't know. And he runs around and they bully him because he's a little one. He's the littlest, and he's got such a temper. I looked at my daughters the other day and I said, you do realize that one day he's going to dwarf you, and he's going to have a lot of pent up anger. You might, I mean, I'm not telling you to baby him because I don't want him to grow up to be kind of a pansy, but, Anyway, I'm going to get off the subject of kids because I don't understand a lot of things. But I'm not getting to politics, so nobody at all comment on politics. I do not like talking about politics. I don't. Unless you're talking about Politics the rapper. And if you know what I just referenced there, you're number one right now, because very few people know that. Who screamed? I didn't hear that. I hear a dog in the background. I'm getting nervous, y'all. I'm getting nervous. I may have to take this live stream and go inside and kill, like just tell everybody, go to bed. Yes, I heard that pumpkin spice Cheerios have hit the shelf. I got a little, I think last year they had them about this time, and I had a little bit, and somebody ate the entire box. I'm glad I don't live with that person anymore, but they ate the entire box and I didn't get any. So this year, I am going to go down and buy like 4 boxes of pumpkin spice Cheerios. And I'm going to be happy. Because like right now, I went into the store and they've got the pumpkin spice creamers, and they've got, they already got mint coming out. There's pumpkin spice Cheerios and donuts, and I like pumpkin spice, but a lot of people I know like go overboard, and that's like, sorry, I'm listening to kids. I'm making sure everybody's, you know, okay. Because I mean, they've got their grandmother, and they have their cousins, but I just don't want to dump all of that onto them, because my kids, for some reason, when I leave the room, they're just like, well, mom left. Let's go crazy. But I'm really excited for the pumpkin spice stuff coming out. I can't say much. I went to college twice and have 2 different degrees. So I have the switch. Okay. Sorry. It's chaos in our house, so just bear with us. We have chaos nonstop, but it's fun chaos, so I can't complain. But I went to college twice. I got 2 different degrees, and I was gonna go back for a third one, and I just kind of cut it off, because I pretty much went to the college for the same stuff. I went for business accounting, and the third well, business / accounting was the first one. The second one was English education, and the third one was supposed to be forensic auditing. So I kind of I had a brain meltdown in college. I didn't know what I wanted to be, if I wanted to be a teacher or if I wanted to go into business. So I just kind of went nuts on it. Yes, I will have to admit that when we were kids, if your parents brought up the word whoopin' or switch, your face melted off and you sunk into your chair and you pretended like you were dead. This generation, or my kids' generation, you mentioned the switch and it's like, oh, is it a tickle party? Are we gonna tickle? No, I'm going to switch you. And they just look at you like, no, you're not. Because we live in a world where it's considered abusive to whoop your children. So, I'm gonna get off of that because I'm gonna get into stuff. Don't you love when your kids steal your phone? I love that. What I do is, I used to buy like really cheap phones, and every year I would just upgrade. And so when the phone got upgraded, if it wasn't complete trash, I gave it, like, I kept it. And so now I give them to all my kids so they can, you know, watch educational stuff, hopefully, play games, just something that just makes them feel like bigger kids. And when their phone dies, they come over and they're like, and I'm like, what? And I'm like giving them like a low five. Ha, what do you want? Your phone. And I'm like, new. I like my phone, which I'm using my phone to record this live stream. So this is an old phone that I use so I can read the chat. And if I ever get up the courage to read a story live, I can do that too. But I haven't worked up the courage for that yet. The switch comes out, and my kids are like, well, poo, I better behave. Mom's going to be back in a minute. I wonder if my kids know that I can hear them. So, I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. Hearing you talk about schooling evil, I'm scared for when my kids get into higher grades. I really am. Because I was listening to my oldest niece, and she was talking about this, and this, and this, and I'm like, I just sat there. I mean, I literally felt like I never went to school. Like, I'm trying to figure out how I went to high school, went to college 3 times, and I feel vastly dumb talking to the kids that are going to school right now. I don't know. I'm slightly worried that I'm going to be I'm losing touch with reality. Oh, guys. So, talking about pumpkin spice, do you guys like pumpkin spice? So that's like that's another debate. Like I was noticing on Facebook. The first debate was Hocus Pocus. People having that battle of Hocus Pocus. The second debate was pumpkin spice. It being overrated and it being awesome. So, I don't know. I don't know where people stand on that. Awesome. Hey. I'm kind of excited now that you got in here too. See, Evil's lucky. He can just type out everybody's name. Every time I see names, I just sit there and go, do I want to risk saying your name? Because I'm probably going to mispronounce it. And I've actually had people kind of jump on me for mispronouncing their name. So I'm like, I like pumpkin spice too. I mean, I'm not like a huge fanatic, but I love it. I literally wait for it to come out. And of course, like right now, I've got like 2 things of pumpkin spice coffee creamer in my refrigerator. I have some pumpkin spice donuts. I'm fixing to go down and buy some pumpkin spice Cheerios. And I'm fixing to like break out. I found this recipe on Facebook for pumpkin cheesecake. That was loud. Ooh. One of these days, I'm gonna get the cops called on me. Which reminds me, if you like shopping at the Dollar Tree, sometimes I like it a little too much. If you go to the cereal aisle, go down, and they have pumpkin spice coffee, and those I forgot what I was even trying to say. Anyway, like you buy Starbucks, it's like that. It's pumpkin spice. But they also have raspberry. And I really love raspberry. I know a lot of people don't, but the other day my mom came in and she had like a raspberry coffee and a raspberry pie, and I suddenly turned into pink guy and was going, and my mom was like, okay, it's just raspberry, chill. And I'm like, and then she's like, well, by the way, they have pumpkin spice. And I went, so that is true. If you ever notice, especially where I live, the pumpkin spice and like the eggnog and the flavor and the mint flavor is seasonal. You can only get this certain times of the year. So I feel like a crack addict. I go into Walmart and I see the pumpkin spice stuff out, and I'm like, carrying handfuls of stuff, and they're like, do you really, there's not going to be apocalypse on pumpkin spice. And I'm like, but it's going to end in November. And then in December, you have the eggnog and the mint. That will only be for December, 1 month. We don't get the 3 or 4 months like we do pumpkin spice. And I'm like, I'm going to stock up like a crack addict. I want my flavors because they only have it a short amount of time. If I could figure out how to freeze this and it'd be good, I'd probably have it all year, but. Ooh, that sounds good. Pumpkin craisin pecan top muffins. If only you could send that through the phone, because I'd be like, that sounds good. Oh. I will agree, not all things pumpkin spice taste good. I had something the other day, somebody was like, try this. And I'm like, okay. I always go blindly into trying stuff because I don't want to pass judgment on it. And they stuck it in my mouth, and I was like, what did I just eat? I'm still trying to figure out. It was pumpkin, but it was bad. And last year, my ex's family, made like something pumpkin. And it weirded me out because it moved on its own at first. I'm like, okay, remember, you gotta try it before you say you don't like it. They put it on my plate. And it kept moving. I took a little nibble, and I think I was in the bathroom for 30 minutes. Gross. So you're right. All things pumpkin is not good. Mm-mm. You're never late. You are always on time. So I always tell people that. Everybody's like, I'm late, I'm sorry. And I'm like, no, 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 no. You're not late. You're on time. Let's see. Really? If I give you my address? That made me happy. Oh, pumpkin jello and... mm-mm, mm-mm. No, 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 no. Mm-mm. I don't know what the mutant pumpkin spice thing was. I don't know. All I know is when you confuse it for dressing, because they both were moving. Okay, I don't know where everybody is in the chat. My mom cooks Yankee stuffing, because in the South we have to determine if it's Yankee or if it's Southern. If it's not Southern, it's Yankee, and we don't care what you say, it's Yankee. So my mom makes Yankee stuffing. I've grown up with that. I love that. But in the South, I have not had a good stuffing yet in the South. Now, I don't know if I've had the misfortune of I've just not had somebody cook good stuffing, or I'm just really picky. I don't know. But if you've ever noticed, and if you're from the South, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. 90% of the stuffing I've seen moves. Like, have you seen The Labyrinth? You know, Jim Henson's The Labyrinth? The Bog of Eternal Stench. You know how it's like moving and... That is what stuffing a lot of times looks like that I've had in the South. So, when I walk up to something and it starts moving on its own, I'm like, get it out of my face. So I try to be nice because my ex's family, they get their feelings hurt. So I'm like, okay, give me some of your stuffing and give me that weird orangey stuff. And they don't give you like a little dollop. It's like, whoa. And I'm like, dear Lord. And I'm like looking at my kids like, help mommy eat this? And they're like, mm-mm. You know when your kids will not share a plate with you that food's bad. Because they will always eat off of their mother's plate. So if they don't want to eat it, I'm like, why do I feel like I'm going to be in the toilet for the next 3 days? So I'm still not sure what the mutated pumpkin thing was. All I know was it's horrific. It's almost like if it was like if pumpkin spice pudding meant or had a baby with stuffing. It just... Mm-mm-mm-mm. Okay, I will. I believe we follow each other on Twitter. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm terrible at Twitter. I'm terrible at Twitter. I really am. I've not figured out Twitter. Like one time you post something and nobody could give a flitter about it. And the next time you post something and you have like a bunch of people talking to you, and I never know what to do. I'm terrible at Twitter. Everybody's like, oh, get in these chats on Twitter. And I'm like, okay. And then they never invite me. And I'm like, I might like a personal, like, you know, chatting with someone. I'm just not good at the main Twitter stuff. Everybody's like, yeah, you got to post this and post that. Post this and do this. And I'm like, you lost me at that. And then they stare at you like you're challenged. And I'm like, let's see. The Bog of Eternals. I'm glad that you got that reference. Because a lot of people, they don't remember Labyrinth. I just introduced my kids to Jim Henson. Because I grew up with Jim Henson. Everything was Jim Henson when I was a kid. And so, like, my kids, they're like, who's that? And I'm like, Sesame Street? Well, you didn't watch much of that. I'm like, I think I failed as a parent. Oh, Evil, there was a reference I made earlier. I know that nobody else got, and I forgot what the reference was. Man, I really knew that you would know what I was referencing. You're right. That's why I recognized your name when you came in. I'm like, I'm 90% sure that is the only person I've ever seen with that name. So I'm like, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. I will agree that a lot of Southern food is different. And so, like I said, my parents, they moved. Like my dad was from Illinois. My mom was from Missouri. My mom traveled, so she lived all over the place and even Canada. They met in Florida and then moved to Alabama. And I got the great graces of being born in Alabama. And then get told half the time that you don't sound like you're from here. And then I get on the internet and they're like, yeah, you can tell you're from the South. And I'm like, I don't know where I belong. So, hey, I'm from wherever. But anyway. But I've noticed that in the South, they add things together sometimes. And I'm like, does that go together? Like, you know, if you mix vinegar and bleach, it explodes. Do you think that's going to happen to the food? I mean, okay. And I'm just over here. Is it safe? Are you dead yet? And then, of course, I got taught how to cook from my mom. So she cooks everything like it's either Native American or it's traditional or it's Yankee. So I've gotten used to that. And I've been quite told a lot in the South that I'm weird. So let's see. What else have I missed? I have noticed that on Twitter. There's like a different tier on Twitter. Some like the higher up notions of Twitter, they don't have time for anybody else, and they get pretty agitated when you bother them. Then you have like the middle tier where they're not up there. They're still friendly and you can talk to them. I've had a lot of those narrators on Twitter that are super duper friendly. You have the lower ones that are they're popular on Twitter. They're wonderful to hang out with. And then I'm somewhere on the bottom of the tier. I have no idea what I'm doing and I'm just walking around like I don't know what I'm doing. Don't know. I'm oblivious. It's like, yeah. I have never had octopus. I was watching this episode of Feast Mansion, and it had like Rich Brian and Joji, and they were talking about octopus balls. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. The previous episode, they were talking about bull's balls, and they were literally bull's testicles. So when they said octopus balls, I went, and then they started explaining it, and then I kind of went, So, like, I literally sat there for the first 10 minutes. I'm sorry, I was reading the chat, so I lost my train of... I was like, what? So I literally thought when they said octopus balls, I went... what? Why do they have those? And so I'm feeling really stupid when they were like, oh, yeah, you take cornmeal and chunks of octopus and this and that. And I went... And then they're like, oh, yeah, it's called, oh, it's not called octopus balls in their country. It's called, dang it, I forgot what it's called. Anyway, it was something off the wall that I'll probably mispronounce and sound stupid anyway. There's another kid watching. Is that like code for I better be good? Okay. I think that dog just talked to itself. It was like, rrr, 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 shut up. It's still gross because I remember the first time I think I heard about octopus balls was that episode, but then later I watched a Filthy Frank episode and he ate one and I guess it wasn't cooked good and he was like, oh, and I'm like, don't think I want to try that. I've never tried oysters either. I don't know. I can't get past the fact that it sits in its shell and and when you hear somebody eat it, like I went to this restaurant and they were like, oh my gosh, we're going to have this and we're going to have this and we're going to order oysters. And I'm like, okay, I've never had this and oysters. So let's try it. And I'm like, yay. And they brought the oysters out, and I'm not going to be mean. I'm feeling nauseous talking about it. They are like, as they're bringing the plate out, like the oysters and the shells like sloshing, and I'm like, I don't know. It looks like snot. I don't know if I can do this. And I'm really good about trying new things. And then the person sitting next to me was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And they're like, and I'm like, done. Done. I just kind of pushed the oysters away. And I'm like, nope, we're done. We're done. Really? They call them mountain oysters? Oh my gosh. I heard somebody reference that the other day, and I really... Now I know why they stared at me like I was mentally challenged. I was like, what's mountain oysters? And they were like, I guess the stuff I learned that I probably should have already known. Even sushi, I'm still struggling. The first time I ever had sushi, it was like at this, I don't know, it's like a sushi bar. And I always expected sushi when you go in, they got the guys that are like cooking in front of you. So I went to like, I guess, the cheaper version of sushi restaurant. And I think I got food poisoning from it. Because I was sick for like 3 days. And now I'm like, I don't know about sushi. Maybe if I tried a good restaurant, I don't know. I'm trying to breathe. I have been so hyped today that I've talked 90 to nothing, that I think I've drove everybody nuts, because I'm just like, and they're like, did you have an energy drink today? And I'm like, I had 2. So I'm doing great. I had coffee this morning. I had 2 energy drinks. I'm just like, I suddenly had just turned into just a whack job today. The more you know. That's how I feel today. I'm like, I keep learning stuff that I feel so stupid a lot of times. I feel so stupid. Oh no, I said something that I was like, okay, I'm missing something. There's probably stuff I'm supposed to. Y'all are talking about stuff in the chat. I have no idea what you're talking. I missed something. I must have scrolled too fast and missed some stuff. Don't talk about stuff I don't know what you're talking about. It makes me feel stupider. Oh my gosh, that's why you crashed. Did you drink water in between like the coffee, the Dr. Pepper? Because if you drink, for some reason, at least this is what I've heard and it works for me. If I drink water before the coffee, in between the coffee, and in between the, I agree, sugar overload. And then if I drink water trying to flush out all the caffeine and sugar, all the sugar, I usually don't have a crash. The reason why I don't usually drink like stuff like that, I'll have my coffee in the morning, or if I have a coffee, I don't have, I know, she's in the chat. Okay. Sorry, we're coding over here. It's like, we're wind talking. Sorry. Like I said, on Fridays, it's a party here. But I lost my train of thought. Usually if I have coffee, I don't have energy drinks. And if I have energy drinks, I don't have coffee. So, but today I stayed up till midnight because Joji dropped his new CD. And then, of course, when it came out, I was up listening to it, and then there was videos that Joji uploaded on YouTube. So next thing you know, it's like 4 in the morning, and I've got to get up for school and everything, and it's like, so like I've lived off of coffee and energy drinks. And what's bad is I can kind of feel like it's starting to come down, because when I start coming down from the hype, I start getting kind of sweaty. And that's how I feel. I get jittery and sweaty. So I kind of boo-booed. I shouldn't have drank that much today. Yeah, Hail Marys. That's how it is in our house. We're just like, and we're trying to code, and I'm like trying to code to children. And luckily they know my weirdness by now. So they can just be like, so we're a bunch of we have fun in our house. We're not too uptight. We've spent too many years being uptight in our house that now we're just like, if you want to send Alyssa out here and she can tell me what's going on. Yeah, I'm not good. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I feel like I'm a baseball coach or a softball coach. I'm just like if you've seen in a League of Their Own, you see Tom Hanks and he's like, I'm in the chat, but I'm not typing anything. I just read what you guys say and answer this way, because by the time I sit and type stuff, I could have just said it to you and just we could have kept the flowing. So, which I'm gonna have to get into this because who's being bad? Go back there calmly and tell them if I have to stop, they're gonna. The scary mom threats.
Hello, people.
You just walk back out here to say hello.
Hello, people. Hope you're having a good night and you have a good rest.
To say, everybody stream Joji on Spotify.
Everybody stream Joji because he's awesome. He's amazing.
Okay, go on.
And also, Jason, I love Fennec Foxes. So, hi. Bye, Jason.
Go. I've just realized that I'm raising my children to be just as random as me, which is good, but not all the time. Bless their little bones. All right. They're not really being bad. It's just one of those deals. It's Friday night. They've had my children like being called little Lilies or because my oldest one is pretty much the spitting image of me. So, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for her, bless her. But there's never any boringness in our house. It's random, it's crazy, it's fun. And yes, I believe you guys did have too much sugar. I kind of figured when I gave y'all grape co and all that stuff, I made a big boo-boo. Should not have given you all that sugar after you guys have been in school all week. They're going to be up all night. I can see it. This is going to be another night where I get up the next morning and I'm like, coffee and an IV stat. Now, I need my caffeine. Let's see. Let's see, what was I going to say? I've been trying to get to this in the live stream because I know if I get on it, I am just totally, yeah, she did turn into a stone statue. Mama, feed me. I fed them. I fed them good. We made bacon cheeseburgers tonight. And I was going to do french fries, but the thing I used to make french fries needed to be changed and cleaned, and I was just like, yeah, I don't feel like it. So we had flavored chips in our house because my kids a lot of times don't like chips and dip. Picky, picky, picky. Oh. Oh, you scared me. I was like, who is that?
I also get away from the screen.
Let's see. You would think that they would go to sleep after sugar. They'd crash. My kids are like literally peeled to the wall and they just lay there on the wall. I mean,
phones.
are they still on the phone?
Yeah. Naughty told them it's time for bed. They're still on their phones.
I may have to go in there in a minute. We love cheeseburgers in our house, but unfortunately we've had them so much lately that I had to take a break. So we went like a month without having bacon cheeseburgers or cheeseburgers. And we had them tonight. And they were really good except for the moment when... Where's your phone? Somebody's on it and they're typing.
That's where I messed up.
You messed up.
Okay, I'll be right back.
I'm just like, hi, mommy. And I'm like, wait a minute. Anyway, guys, like I said, it's Friday. We're just trying to have a good time. So I hope nobody gets really, stop it. Stop using someone else's phone to message me, you goober. I am not going to even try to say, it's pronounced, nope, not even going to try it. The sort of, you were talking about Sunday is ranch and seasoned burgers. I'm not even going to try to say that word because that's like a funny joke. I know, I've seen it twice. Y'all go in there and calm down. This is supposed to be my time to
I just said hi.
be weird on my own. Let's see. I keep hearing rumors that the Hocus Pocus is going to have a sequel. Sorta Arcan? Worcestershire sauce. I hope that helps. It don't. I'm going to mess up. I'm going to mess it up. So it's Sorta Arcan? Did I get it right? Worcester sauce. Oh. Recan. So it's sorta recan. I'm feeling stupider. Just stop. Why do I hear bags rattling? My kid's eating again? Let's see. So I got it right. Sorta recan. I thought that's how you say it, but I have problems, okay? I don't pronounce words right. I like it. I think that I just don't pronounce names. I don't pronounce 90% of people's names that come into the chat because I don't know. I had an instance, one of my earlier live streams. I pronounced somebody's name and I guess I was way off on what their name was and they were mad and I kind of got chewed out for it. So I'm like, so now I just I say hi, bye, and I'm scared to death to say your name. And it's not because I don't want to. Good Lord, are all of you coming out now?
I don't know. I came out because I had to charge my phone.
Don't
Nani
tell
told them
her.
it's time for bed. And I
Don't
told
tell
them to
her.
go lay down.
Yes.
I came out here to get some peace and quiet.
That's
I
why I
also
did
get
this out
warmed
here.
up.
You're not getting in the frame. I know they do want to say hi. They really, when I start live streaming or doing like a vlog, my kids want to come out. Why? Is she mad? Good luck, go. You better go. I think she wants a couple minutes of quiet, and she doesn't get in.
Me too. I don't.
You're gonna die. They really want to say hi, but usually I tell them they can't get into it because.
Where's your brother?
Ooh, la, that is a man.
I'm beating them all to death.
Okay, I'm live.
Sorry.
It's okay. Everybody watching is just like, grab your popcorn and just.
Seriously, let 6 and go on.
It's about to go down.
I might go inside, just stay at
Just
the door on the side.
With a bag of chips. And kick them back into play. There you go. Get that one. You missed it.
Or just completely get the switch.
Yes.
You walk out here and you go,
I think my mom was asleep. So she was already
Yeah,
asleep.
she
She was okay. She was sound asleep. So then you hear like this, do, 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 do. I can hear it out here. And next thing you hear the door slam, and she's probably now been alerted. Children are running amok. And so now she's just like, eh! I shouldn't laugh because as a mom, when I get woke up, I usually am not very pleasant. But
It's coming. I see lights.
but has anybody else heard the rumor that there's supposed to be a Hocus Pocus 2? Because I've heard that now for like 5 years, and then supposedly this year it was going down, it was gonna happen, and I'm like, is it? Because I was getting excited. I was really hoping. I don't know how they're gonna do it because these actresses have aged. Because what, Hocus Pocus came out 93, 91, somewhere in there, and this is now like 2020. So I don't know.
I'd be minus something years old.
Happy joy. I hope so. I would really like to see it. But the thing is, I was trying to figure out, like you said earlier, yeah, Evil, I can see that. I was like, Hail Mary, let's get this stuff done. But I'm trying to figure out how they would do with Hocus Pocus. At the very end, if I'm not mistaken, all the sisters turn to dust, right? I mean, Freebird!
I think I remember seeing Hocus Pocus. I can't remember. My brain doesn't work after hitting it a couple times.
Mine doesn't work at all. All we're missing is Immunity Zero. What? Why? That's true. I didn't think about they could do a prequel. And they could look older because they need to feed on the children. That is a good twist. I mean, I didn't think about that. That is awesome. I could see. Oh, that's why I thought she turned to. But then when she turned into a statue, the sun finished coming up and the statue burst. So, like, the statue's not there. And they turned to dust because the sun, like, hit them. But it's movies. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's a movie. I've had to yell this, I don't know how many times, people I watch movies with. Just go with it. What they'll probably do is if they do, like, a sequel, she never burst. The dust got collected in a vacuum and the poof, they're all back together. I think the prequel thing is really awesome. If you did it as a prequel and they look older because they need to suck lives out of children. So I like that. Now I'm going to have to watch Hocus Pocus to know if I'm right or wrong. Or I could leave the chat for a moment and Google it. Let's try this. Okay, let's see. Hold on.
I was just thinking about running in the grass and I was like, wait.
It's
Is there
dark.
still snakes out here? Is there copperheads? Am I going to get bit? I still want to He runs into the bowl, slap head in it. I'm awake now.
Moo. I forgot what I was even typing. I was
About Hocus Pocus.
does any from Hocus Pocus.
We should do a live stream on in like 36 days. It's October.
I think that's what we're gonna do. Winifred associated with the. No, that's not what I. That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. Google.
I had to turn off my phone. Holy Jesus!
Holy moly, mackerel of the Lord! That scared me. I thought Beelzebub was coming out of the window.
It scared me. I completely jumped almost out of my seat. Oh.
I don't. I will watch it later and try to figure out what in the world happened in that movie. Because you're probably more than likely 100% right. That she just turned to a stone, or yeah, to a statue. So I don't know. And of course, my favorite line of Hocus Pocus. And if you know me, you already know what this line is going to be. Oh, look, another glorious morning makes me sick. That is like my favorite line because it literally describes me every morning. I wake up and I'm just like, look, the sun came up. Joy, joy, happy. And happy, joy, joy. Where's my coffee? So I think I'm pretty sure I could end up being a Sanderson sister. There's a lot that they could do with Hocus Pocus. I will freely admit that. What am I stepping on? Something sticky. Anyway. And like I said, my randomness is hitting really hard tonight, like, because I think I'm starting to crash a little bit between the hype of Joji and all the caffeine I had just to make it through the day. And what's even worse is I decided, since it's Friday, that I've been up since midnight. I'm living off of coffee and caffeine and a prayer, that I decided to go and weigh myself and go walking tonight. And I walked, I think we walked a mile, 2 miles. I don't know. I've lost track on what we were doing, but we walked something. And so now I'm just like, what year is this? I feel like I've aged in one day. But it was worth it. I got Joji, I got to exercise, and I got to have an excuse to have all that caffeine. Let's see. I must go faster. I don't know. I used to write a ton, and I used to come up with ideas for movies and be like, I would love to do that. And I might get back into it now that things are a little bit less chaotic. I might get back into that. Let's see. I was going to say something. I don't know what I was going to say. That dog over there, I feel so sorry for that dog. He just sounds so lonely and needs a friend, and I kind of want to break into my neighbor's house to get that dog. Be like, come here, Poochie. I love you. I just feel sorry because it's apparently over there by itself, and it's deaf, and it's barking for someone, I guess, and I'm like, so it's distracting me a little more than, yay, the homework's done. Is he going to bed now? Bless him. He gets done with homework, go to bed. Which I can't, I mean, imagine he might be tired. That's true, because don't Satan's supposed to hold their souls? So you could do whatever you want now. You could be like, I'm sending you back. Because at the end of the movie, is like, I'm trying to think. There's like a mosquito flying in front of my, stop. So I mean, you could do whatever you want. That's the good thing about recreating movies, is you kind of can do what you want, as long. The only thing I hate when they do this, and it's in a lot of movies, is if they have the first one, and then when they go to make the second one, they totally forgot what they wrote in the first one, and they just are like winging it. It's like, woo, we're going to do whatever we want, and it doesn't match the first one. And of course, if you're like me, and you overthink, and you know you've seen this movie 1,000 times, you're just sitting there going, but did you, are we forgetting everything that happened in the first movie? And then I find myself just saying my famous lines, let's just go with it. It's a movie. I don't know. It was a movie I just, it's called The Boy, and then The Boy 2. And they were talking about it, because I watched the first one. The first one was just a little, it was okay. I mean, it's just a typical horror film. And, so I was trying to read that, and it's too small. I have to get over here in a minute. But then when they made The Boy 2, it was like completely different. Like they were forgetting everything from the first movie. And I was like, well, it's probably because they have new writers. And then right after I said that, the person who was reviewing the movie went, and what's bad is it's the same writers from the first movie. And I went, ooh. So I haven't watched the second one. I've wanted to. I may get to it. You never know with me. I could review that. We'd had some fun. That's a really good idea for the movie. I sometimes think that regular people should write stuff, because some of the people writing stuff right now, I'm like, no. But I don't criticize, because I mean, it's not like I'm writing anything, so I'm not going to criticize somebody who's writing. So yeah, I think two of you are having a conversation that I have totally missed what's going on. So I'm like, I sort of just sound like a chain smoker laugh there. It was like, or a car that couldn't start properly. You might need to have to check that out. Oh, yeah. There's not much creativity anymore in Hollywood. I mean, it's almost like, um, look, I have a lamp. It's scary. Boo, boo, boo. And that they roll with it. And I'm like, in fact, I should make fun of that. I think it's Amityville Horror. I think it was, or Amityville. It's like the third one, and it's literally about, or second one. I think it's the third one. It's literally about an evil lamp, so I probably shouldn't make that joke. And I don't know, this is something I'm going to bring up because I guess because I brought up that lamp thing. I only know about it because Phalis off of YouTube reviewed it. I half the time don't want to watch movies because if Phalis has done it, it's probably going to be 100 times better because he like ad-lib stuff. So he's like talking for the lamp and don't demean me. And he's just going on and I'm like, I don't need to watch the movie because you're better than the movie. So I like Phalis. Yeah, no reboots. I'm so tired of reboots. We'll reboot a reboot and then reboot that reboot. And it's like, I'm tired of you rebooting stuff. Like we had Ninja Turtles, like, I don't think I was born yet when the Ninja Turtles first, like, I mean, like the movies. And I definitely wasn't born for the TV show. I got lucky because my mom recorded all this stuff because she was raising her sister's kid. And so she taped all this stuff. So when I came around, I already had the stuff on tape. So I got like Rainbow Bright. All this stuff was like before me. But like they had Rainbow Bright and Ninja Turtles. And I grew up watching this stuff. And then they rebooted Ninja Turtles and then rebooted Ninja Turtles again. And I'm like, stop rebooting it. Stop. I don't like it. I like the original. I'm a creature of habit. I like my original stuff. Just don't. Yes. I am so glad you mentioned that, sorta. Tim Curry is to me an amazing actor. Everything I've ever seen him in, I don't care if it's just like this weird goofball. It is amazing. And he's like from 90% of my childhood. It may have been before I was born, but I watched it on videotape. So like you have Fern Gully. He's the voice of the Smog or whatever. It's like I don't know what he was called now. It's sad. I've seen that movie so many times. But I mean, there's literally a point where I'm watching it as an adult and I know this song and I'm like singing to it and my kids are like, get into it, Mom. Go. And I'm like, Hexus, thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad you know what I'm talking about. Like he's Hexus. Then you flash forward, he's in The Worst Witch, which I love The Worst Witch. And he was like one of the best parts of the movie. I mean, just a lot of my childhood memories involves Tim Curry in it. And yes, just to go ahead and answer your question, I like Rocky Horror Picture Show too. I'm a little put off on the fact, yes, you are my personal IMTP. Thank you. I am a little put off in Rocky Horror Picture Show that he looks better in lingerie than probably I do. That saddens me. But I still like the movie. It's still awesome. And the fact that he has the confidence to do that would give you an AAA+. They were going to make a Princess Bride too? No. Why? I don't know. Princess Bride 2 was just such a good standalone movie. I just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. There's going to be a 4th Halloween Town. Dear Lord. Yes, I'm sorry. I just, everything Tim Curry's in. And you know, I'm trying to think. It's on Hulu. Over the Garden Wall. He's in it in a couple of voices. And I noticed his voice was a little different than I'm used to hearing him. And I looked it up, and Tim Curry had a stroke. I'm going to say 3 to 5 years ago, and he's in a wheelchair. And I seen him do, like, he was doing, like, a interview. And he can still, he can still talk. He's doing fine. But just to see that wonderful, amazing actor sitting in a wheelchair, but he has not lost his spirits, man. He was like, he was amazing. He still got it after all this. And I'm gonna go ahead and say this, and I'm sorry if this makes anybody mad, but just because Tim Curry is in the original it's my favorite, and I said it, and I'm sticking to it. Okay. I'm waiting for people just at me now on the screen. I'm just waiting for it because I ended up having a discussion with somebody about this, and they were like talking about how the old one was so terrible and everything, and I was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, Tim. I do like both versions. I do. I'm not hating on the new one, but just because Tim Curry's in the original. Oh, good, you like the original better. That makes me feel good. I'm so terrified when I say it. I'm like, yes, it used a little CG. I think the original for me is just great because, one, watching it, the miniseries, introduced me at a young age to Stephen King. So that's one. I grew up with it. That's what I was used to. Yes, now it's a little hokey. It's dated. But I mean, the actors they got to play the kids in the original have now grown up, and I've watched them. I mean, Lord, you got Seth Green in one of those in the original, and I mean, it was really good. And Tim Curry did so good. And then when you watch the interview that Tim Curry, I think it was Stephen King said that he wanted Tim Curry. And they were like, I don't know, I don't think he's going to do this. And they asked him, and he was like, I have no interest in doing horror films. And they're like, we really think you would do good. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna try. And just the level, nothing against Bill Skarsgård. I love Bill Skarsgård. My neighbors are home. Shh, my neighbors are home. If they find out when I'm out here, I'm gonna be in trouble. You do have to watch the original, but make sure your parents know that you're watching it, because I don't remember it being real bad that you couldn't see it, but just the original is my favorite because of Tim Curry. I mean, he brought this level of, like, he was just goofy. I mean, just straight up goofy, and then all of a sudden he was just like ripping a kid's arm off, and you're like, wow, And I love Tim Curry, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say that I would prefer the original just because I grew up with it. I know that, and Tim Curry is just awesome. Now, getting into the new It, I do like the new It. I do like it. I liked part 1 a little bit better than part 2, but that may be because, again, I watched it with somebody that wouldn't shut up, and they talked, and they critiqued it, and they belittled it, and picked it apart to the point I was like, I'm done. I don't even think I finished the second part. So I probably need to try now. Maybe if I watched it with somebody that would help me get into it. Dear Lord. Okay, let me, I've missed so much in the chat, guys. I'm sorry. Yes, Kevin and Karen, or I don't know if you could hear them. Kevin immediately looked over here and seen that I was out here and started screaming and flipped every light on. I kind of wish sometimes on Friday nights my Kevin neighbor would start drinking so he could pass out and leave me alone, because he's so mean. He's mean to his wife. He's mean to his neighbors. I don't think any of the neighbors like him. But anyway, I'm not going to get into that. It's none of my business. Yes, Tim Curry was amazing in Legend of Darkness. Oh my gosh, I own that movie. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the one of the main reasons why I watched that movie is Tim Curry, because he was amazing. His voice is not like anything I've heard, and I mean, you could picture him being a narrator. Could you imagine him on YouTube reading a horror or a creepy pasta? It would be epic. It would be epic. Let's see. I know you. I know you meant darkness. That's why I didn't say anything. My chat keeps jumping all over the place. And I have to scroll. I own Legend of Darkness. I think it's actually Legend. He plays Darkness. Sorry. Like I said, my brain's a little. But Legend. It, it it's not. It's not my favorite movie. I think one of the best things I like. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, Legend. I'm not 100% a big Tom Cruise fan. I don't hate on him or nothing. I'm not a big fan of his. But he did really great in the movie. I liked him in this movie. He just plays this naive, wonderful person. And the princess gets on my nerves. A couple of times I would love to have just slapped her. I mean, you're the reason why this is happening. But like I said, Darkness was the best part. The unicorns were pretty. The imagery was awesome. So anyway, I could critique that, but I'm just gonna get off because I'm not doing movie reviews tonight. I'm gonna be good. I will have to agree. I think what it is that my neighbors next door are very miserable. My neighbor is like on his 4th marriage, and every woman that divorces him is like, "Oh dear Lord, I'm so happy to be free." And I'll be honest with you, I'm his neighbor, and I would be happy to be free. I could imagine living with him. Oh, I do have to tell you a funny joke about my neighbors. Okay. Where we live, my family owns like 3 or 4 acres of land. We've got like fruit trees, and we have cows over there, and we have gardens, and we just have everything right now. But my neighbor next door has like an acre and a half of land. But apparently he retired like 4 years ago. And then his wife retired last year or the year before that, somewhere in there. And she stays gone. Like, she visits her kids. She does things. She just gets out of the house. I would. If I was retired, I'd be like, I'm gonna get out when I feel like it. He never leaves. He stays. And he's got like a barn right by our house over here. And he blows stuff up. He bangs. He plays weird music all the time. So we're just accustomed to him doing something weird. I mean, I expect one of these days like to see and like his barn blow, like the roof blow off and fly through the air. I expect this because my neighbor's weird. It used to be like a running joke. He used to get drunk and he would stagger around the yard and just like and just bomb out in the ground and just be laying there. I don't know how many times my dad would look over at my mom and poke her and say, should we call someone? Should we And my mom's like, leave it alone. Just leave it alone. And so the other day I heard this and I'm like, oh dear sweet baby Buddha, did he get a motorcycle? It's never gonna be quiet. And about that time, now we have a privacy fence up because we want privacy. I'm tired of seeing his weirdness, okay? But we didn't privacy all the way back. We stopped at the backyard, which my neighbor apparently took that as, I'll just come back here where I can still see you. And all of a sudden I just seen this thing go zooming past. And I'm like, dear Lord, what was that? And about that time he zoomed right back, and I'm like, Mama, I think aliens have finally made it to our neighbor's house. And Mom's like, what? And so now we're on the porch. I'm sitting in my chair, like I'm sitting here, and I'm watching. And out of nowhere, I don't know the technical term for it. It's not a gator, but it's like a giant golf cart. But it's like one of those expensive ones. Expensive ones. Now, just keep in mind that I told you my neighbor has an acre to 2 acres of land, and all that's on it is grass that he mows every day. I feel sorry for the grass. Even the grass is like, help me. So most people in the South, if you buy a golf cart, a gator, or an adult go-kart, is kind of what it is. You're a farmer, so you have animals, you have your plants, whatever. That's why they have that, because they have like 10 acres of land, and they've got to get around, see the animals. Yeah, it's what I call a rich person's ATV. He probably spent like $15,000 on this thing. No joke, I priced one because I was like, we got a lot of land and fruit and plants and animals, so we'll get one. Then I seen the price and I was like, dear Buddha, no. So I was not expecting this. I'm sitting here and I'm watching, and about this time he zooms past the fence, gets out into this open area, and is doing like circles in this open grass. Now he probably, in all fairness, didn't know I was watching, because at this point I was kind of perturbed, and this is like my highlight of laughter. He's like doing donuts, and he looks so proud of himself. He's like, wee, wee, and I'm like, I wish I would have had my phone. My phone had died. I wish I would have recorded, because it would have been a great TikTok. And about this time, he looks up and he locks eyes with me, and I'm locking eyes with him. I don't think he was. That's just something. I don't think he was drunk. He's doing them donuts, and he's like, boom, 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 like he's like a kid. And I'm sorry. He locks eyes with me, and I lock eyes with him, and I'm literally, and he's now, and just drives home. And next thing you know, he is driving out in the road, down the road, back, over to the neighbors across the street, which who seemed pretty perturbed that he was bothering them. He drove out to get his mail, which his mail is maybe 2 feet, not 2 feet, but his mail's maybe, it's a short walking distance from his house to the mailbox. So he drives out to get his mail, and he drives back. He drives and gets his garbage can and lifts it up onto it and drives out and drives back. Then he takes his truck. So that right here where they park their cars, they have a car, an SUV, and a truck. He pulls his truck out, puts his truck in the barn, and parks the go-kart where his nice fancy truck goes. And then you just see him, and he apparently has a horn. Because as he's driving by, you're I'm not lying when I say when it went I was laid out on the floor. I laughed so hard. I was just like on the porch, dying. I was laughing so hard that my mom come out, because I looked like I had a seizure, and died. My mom comes out and I'm dying, and she's like, what happened? And I'm like, and about the time he drives by, my mom starts laughing so hard that she starts to snort. I start snorting, and we made such a ruckus that when he got into view, I'm pretty sure he's seen us laughing at him. And I didn't mean to, it's just that and him just wee. I'm sorry, I gotta stop talking about it, because I'm gonna end up having an asthma attack on it. So it's missing. I noticed today it's missing. So we must have laughed so much at him that he parked it back in the barn, and I haven't heard that anymore. I'm sorry. My neighbors are a great source of hostility and laughter. Like when we had Cinco de Mayo earlier this year. I hear this music, and I'm like, oh dear, sweet baby Buddha, what's going on next door now? And so we turn all the lights off, and I go sneaking onto the porch. And I'm not lying when I say their whole carport is lit up in Christmas lights. And you hear like Cinco de Mayo music. Now I'm going to tell you, my neighbors are not Hispanic. So hearing this, because they're as white as, you know, cream cheese. They're white. And you hear this music going off and the Christmas lights up. And I'm like, it's not racist whatsoever, Kevin and Karen. And then the best part, and I may have got this on video because I, again, was laughing so hard, is apparently they were having a little party. And, yeah, mariachi music, yeah. Apparently they were having a little party. Now, they have a backyard that's got like a privacy fence up where they have a swimming pool. And they have a bunch of stuff around the swimming pool that you can have a party and Cinco de Mayo, have a pool party. They have a carport, and then they have like this glass room that they don't put blinds up, so you see everything. I think they did that so they could spy on us, but we get to see a whole lot more. Anyway, so they're having a little get together, and they're doing it under the carport. Almost like they were trying to make us feel jealous of their Cinco de Mayo party. Sorry. And again, they're not Hispanic, so I was not expecting this. The next thing you know, I'm like telling Mom, like, all that's left is we have the mariachi band. They have the Christmas lights out. I mean, it's not even like traditional lights, it's Christmas lights. They had a piñata in the corner. And the next thing you know, I look at Mom like, all that's missing is, and one of them walked by with a sombrero the size of Texas on their head, and I'm like, and I'm dead. I'm on the floor laughing. I'm laughing so hard that apparently I'm laughing over their mariachi music. And Mom's like, and now she's standing where they can see her. And they're like, and I'm on the ground laughing, and she's going at me, and I'm like, I'm laughing even harder to the point I literally thought I was going to pee on myself. Because, I mean, you just hear the mariachi music, and somebody apparently thinking that they're Hispanic because they make they start making noises. They've got a piñata, and I'm pretty sure, anyway, like I said, they're not racist whatsoever. And the next thing you know, they break out the sombreros, and I'm talking about these humongous sombreros, bigger than when you go to a Mexican restaurant and they sing happy birthday to you. And they're walking around, they're like, and I'm not joking, I'm laughing so hard that at this point I'm calling everybody that's over here, because we were having like tacos, you know, just having tacos and having a good time, just enjoying the holiday. And you're not in the frame, stop. You can sit, but don't get in the frame. They're holding their sombreros and they're cha-chaing or something, and I'm just over here.
She's sleeping on the family.
Okay. Well, why don't you go sit in the family room with her and maybe be quiet?
She doesn't answer me.
Oh, well, she may be asleep.
No, she's not. Her eyes are wide open watching you.
Because I'm so funny. Oh, don't look at me like that. Sorry. Anyway, you ruined my Cinco de Mayo. Sorry.
I did not.
But like I said, my neighbors are a great source of hilariosity in our house. I really need to just start carrying. No, I don't have my inhaler nearby. So if I have an asthma attack, I'm just gonna be like, eh. I've had more asthma attacks because of my neighbor making me laugh than I have for anything in my life anymore. But thought that was the cat. Is there a cat in the window? My mom's cat stalks me, so it wouldn't be. Nope, it's a plant. It's a plant. Had me worried because from this angle, I'm like, the cat is stalking me. But I almost bet you she's in that window over there watching me. She's like my little guard cat. She hates me, but she loves me, and I don't hate her. She just bugs me a lot. It's like having a little sister in cat form. And I have not checked the chat in forever. I'm sorry. The cat is scary. I will totally agree with you. But you know what? She stops being scary when you we had a fight. I'm literally a knockdown, drag out fight, me and the cat. She was like, she come over and sat next to me and she was like, and I'm like, you came over and sat next to me, kitty cat. So next thing I was like, and I'm making noises, and now she every time she looks at me, she's like, and I look at her about the same way. So we're all good. Let's see. She's running around smacking everyone. I'm sorry. I just imagine the cat she's patrolling. Get in bed. Get in bed. You know, that's what she's saying to everybody. Like, it's her bedtime, the cat's bedtime. So when y'all get out of bed, she's like, and she's going to chase you and attack. And she's got like paws of fury. I'm not joking. She probably is worse than your cat. She's, I love her, but she's nuts. Nuts. Okay. Sorry, somebody was messaging me on TikTok, and I was like, what? Is it important? Can you wait? One blink for yes, two blinks for no. Let's see. My plant? It's not my plant, it's my mom's plant. I'm not very good with plants. The closest I get to plants are fake. I can't really say that. That's kind of a lie. Hold on a second. I have some favorite plants right now. They are my favorite, and I've kept them alive now for like, no, she can't have grape soda. No, you can't have grape soda. Watching you. But let me get the plant. It's right out here on the porch. No, you can't have grape soda. Go sit down. I got really lucky. We went to Walmart and they had their mums out. And I'm gonna take it. You guys probably just heard me tell my kid, no, you can't have grape soda. Get in bed. I keep forgetting this camera picks up a gnat farting 2 states over. So yeah, we went to Walmart one day, and it was when we first moved back at the homestead. And I was feeling kind of down, and all the mums were out. I love orange soda. I'm not a fan of grape soda, but I love orange soda. Sun-kissed Fanta. Anyway. And they had all their mums out, and they had the orange, the yellow, and like the burnt colors. And I'm like, oh, the mums are out. I want some mums. Mom's like, you know, every time you get a mum, it dies. And I'm like, but that's when I lived up there. But I live here. I do better with plants here. And she's like, tell her for me. But anyway, they had mums, so I'm pulling out like the orange ones because I'm like, I don't like the yellow ones. I want the orange ones. And then I look over, and to my wondrous eyes behold, purple. They had purple ones, and not just like the dark purple, but the light purple. And so that made my little heart go pitter-pat. And I've had them now for 2 months, and they're fine and happy. Don't die on me, okay? I really like you, and they don't have any more, so don't. Anyway, had to kind of give it a pep talk. They say if you talk to plants, they do fine. I hope that's true, because if not, people think I'm crazy now. So, and what's bad is, you know, it's getting cold, but there's still mosquitoes out. And apparently I have a blood type that the mosquitoes are like, oh, look. And next thing you know, I will literally have 20 bite marks on my ankles. Like, can't you find another spot to bite? Oh, wait, nope. I got one on my toe, too. I thought, you know, with it being cooler, all these little bloodsuckers would die. Nope. They found my ankles, and I think I got like 20 bug bites. Oh. Anyway, I missed the chat. Sorry, guys. I kind of just got off on a tangent. Randomness, sheer randomness. How is Halloween going for you guys? I just got word that they do a block party in the 2 towns closest to us. They do like a town square party and a block party. I won't go to the town square party because it's too close to Satan. And if you know anything about, we've talked personally, you know, when I say Satan, you know what I mean. And then over here closer to us is the block party. It's for Halloween. And they'll have a block party and they'll have a downtown party. Just got word that they canceled both of them because of COVID. That just ruined everything because, I mean, at least with the block party or the downtown party, they have like vendors and people who have candy and prizes and toys and stuff like that they give to the kids, and you don't have to go driving around like in the olden days to people that may or may not be home because they're trick-or-treating too. And it really kind of perturbed me because if like you can go to Walmart, we've sent the kids back to school, then why in God's green earth can you not have a block party? I mean, just put on there, wear your favorite Halloween mask and come on out. This is for kids. And it's on Saturday. Guys, Halloween is on Saturday. It's a full moon, and I think it's a blood moon out. Dude. So fine. I'm going to have a Halloween party at my house. Take that COVID, put it in your pipe and smoke it. Because I'm going to do something for Halloween. Because I like Halloween. It's one of my favorite holidays. So, it's not up in the air where we're at. It's flat out, nope, we're not going to have Halloween. And I'm like, fine. But you know, I think when we have the Halloween party, I've been thinking about it. And if everybody that comes to the party is okay, I think I'm going to live stream while we have the party. So you guys can join in. And we can do some more shenanigans because it will be all of us doing stuff. So, the only thing I can't promise is Kevin and Karen next door will either have Cinco de Mayo lights or their little
I came out here because I would not get left alone, or my back and my shoulders started hurting from falling on kickball. Pretty sure I need to get an x-ray done, but I don't worry about it.
Right now, I don't even know what costumes to buy for my kids because if we're not actually having Halloween, then what's the point of going out? Because like my kids, okay, this is what my kids wanted to do this year. I wanted them to do like the Sanderson sisters, and then like my son could be like Billy. That was like awesome. I wanted to do that. My oldest didn't want to wear the wig or the teeth, and I'm like, how about no teeth and a wig? It didn't work. So we went through Descendants. We went through the Sanderson sisters. We went through Native Americans. I mean, we went through 500 different things. And then finally, my youngest daughter looks at me and she goes, what about the Nightmare Before Christmas? And I'm like, oh, Sally, there's pumpkin characters, there's this. And then my youngest looks at me and goes, I want to be Jack Skellington. But you're a girl and your brother could be Jack. I'm going to be Jack Skellington. Okay, you're Jack Skellington. You're hired. And then her twin is like, I'm going to be Sally. And they're like, oh, and they're all giddy over there. And then my oldest looks at me and says, can I be the corpse bride? And I'm like, and then I look over at my poor son who now really has nothing he can be. And they go, you can be Zero or the bone dog. And my son goes, I'm not going to be your dog. And I'm like, oh dear Lord. And then the fight breaks out. Well, you got to be that because I'm the corpse bride. You can be the dog. And my son is now just, I'm not going to be a dog. And he's like, I want to be Jack Skellington. Now, this point, my daughter looks over at him, and now they've locked eyes. And when my youngest daughter and my son lock eyes, it is going to be a fight. And we're all just sitting there. At some point, I look over, and I think my oldest has grabbed a bag of chips, and she's like, and the other twin is like, yeah, don't you, and I'm just over going, well, this is not going to end good, because in her mind, she's Jack Skellington, and in his mind, he's Jack Skellington. So then I propose, What if you're both Jack Skellington? You're Jane and you're Jack. Their eyes locked my eyes, and I feared for my life at that point. I at some point started going, because now they were mad. And Lydia's like, do you not understand there is no Jane Skellington? It's Jack or nothing. And I'm like, how do you...
It did not really happen.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. You just left the room before the argument finished.
Oh, goodness.
Because
They
you were...
did not look together at locked eyes. They looked.
Have you ever heard of dramatic story? You're ruining the dramatic story. Your hair smells like caramel.
What?
And you ruined my story. Mm. Mm-mm. Mm. They can still hear you. Mm. Ruined my story. Anyway, they at this point I feared for my life. I'm like, yep, this is it. Hail Mary, full of grace. I'm fixing to go. I see the light. And I'm like, okay, well, fine. You guys figure out what you want to do. And they're just looking at me. It's still up in the air. We have no idea who, what, when, and where. I said, well, you could be Jane. We can do little like pigtails and powder your hair, and you can be Jack, and you've already got the blonde hair, so we're all good. It didn't work. It didn't work. Then I tried to talk my son. You could be like one of those pumpkin characters from Nightmare Before Christmas. I still got the look. So I'm done. I told them, I said, what we'll do is we may do just more of our own costumes this year, just make stuff, because there's no Halloween parties to go to. At the school, we just got an announcement when school started that they're not doing Halloween parties, they're not doing Christmas parties. When your kid has a birthday, it used to be that you could get like
Cupcakes or cookies.
the cupcakes, cookies, chips, drinks, and the mom could come and we could have a birthday party. I used to be like a big deal when my kids at their old school before COVID hit. I would get like a big birthday sign and balloons and bring the food and drinks, and we would have like a little What?
That says he's jackass.
No, it don't.
No, look, he is jackass.
Okay, why are you reading that? That's from an old chat. I just had to have the computer running so I can have my light working. And why did you say that? Would you like soap in the mouth? Go get me the Dawn. Go get me the Dawn.
No, you need vinegar.
Anyway, we're having like a discussion. I have my computer on, and it's playing an old chat because I need it to stay on, keep my setup working. So she's like reading something that somebody posted in a previous chat, and she's like, and ruining my story. Anyway, you're acting like
Yes, my dad.
he who must not be named. Anyway, let's see, what was I saying? No, I don't have my stuff back. What I have is like a light stand with the phone. It'll hold the phone, and it's got plugged up to like a power pack. I don't have my stuff back, trust me. If I did, I would already have like 40 narrations out for you guys. And I'm sorry that I'm wiggling around. I literally have like 20 mosquito bites. And when I get a mosquito bite, it's like I got stung by a hornet. They swell up and they itch to the point of death. And I'm having that problem right now, so I can't sit still because of it.
Every time I get by a mosquito, I just try to leave it alone, but it's so hard whenever you accidentally.
Oh, Oogie Boogie, I don't... Oh, that is a good idea! I have to mention that, because then I can tell Elijah he's the villain. That might actually work.
No,
I might actually...
it won't. He's gonna go, I don't want to be the bad guy.
Or I'll get naughty.
Okay.
I never thought about Oogie Boogie. He might actually go with that if he could be the bad guy. So, yes, my oldest does love chaos. I think actually what it is, she really wants to join in the live chat, but I've told my kids for right now, it's better that we don't.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm ruining it. I just want to see you guys.
Well, you can't see them. I can't see them. They can see me, and they can hear you.
I just wish they were here.
Oh, she wishes you guys were here. I'm just joking. My oldest is awesome. I rag on her just because I know I can pick at her and she can handle it. Her siblings, if you pick at them, tears ensue. With her, she just teases me back and we just kind of play. She kind of reminds me of the way me and my dad were when I was her age. We would just sit and pick at each other until like we were like at each other. My mom would just be like, my dad and me were so bad that we would go into Walmart and my mom would literally try to act like she didn't know who we were. She'd just be like, my dad would be yelling her name and I would be yelling, Mom, Mom. And she'd be like, so to pay my mom back, we went to Florida this like a couple months back, and we always go to Target because we don't live close to a Target here. And we get in there, and I take my oldest, and my mom takes the youngest. She goes shopping. Me and her go shopping. So I keep calling my mom because I have no idea where she's at. I mean, it's Target. It's not that big. We're trying to find her. She's not answering her phone. I'm like, what's the point of having a phone? You don't answer it. I'm getting agitated. At this point, the monkey shines come out. And it literally, me and my daughter turned into me and my dad. We're goofing off. She's holding the camera and recording us being just weird. And there's like one point, like I'm looking at like an eyelash curler and she comes running around the corner. Woo! And people are just like. And then 2 minutes later, we're trying to find my mom. Can't find her. And we spot her, and she's like running through the store. I have no idea if she was trying to find us or she just decided that she was done because she had the youngest. And so like we're running after her, and she's just. Whew. I mean, at this point, I didn't know a woman with a walking stick could run like that. I suddenly was like trying to catch up with her. So now. The full-blown monkey shines take over, and I'm screaming through the store, Mammy, why you leave me, Mammy? And she turns around and goes, and takes off faster. A woman turned into Speedy Gonzalez, and she was gone.
Oh my goodness.
And me and my daughter are literally, I'm yelling after my mom to come back. We need you. And she's behind me yelling, Mommy, why you leave me? And it just was like a chain of weirdos running through the store. But what was good is apparently people in Florida are used to this because they are all laughing and taking pictures of us. So we're just like, I don't know. When we get out to the car, I'm like, I know, I can just see the look on her face that when we get to the car, I'm going to get it. And at this point, I don't know if I honestly care because it felt so good to be so weird. And we get out to the car. I get stuff in the car. My mom is just looking at the kids like in the car, and they're all getting in the car and they're buckling themselves and they're looking at me like, it's nice knowing you, Mom. You're dead. We get in the car. We sit down. She shuts the door. I'm hesitant to shut my door. I shut my door. And she grips the steering wheel. And I'm like, dear baby Buddha, please don't let her kill me in Florida. And she looks over and she just, if you ever do that to me again, I will leave you in the store.
Oh my goodness.
Now, at this point, I literally just go, because I'm trying not to laugh because I still find it funny. She's in the back seat just because we had a good time. Even though she didn't have a good time, we had a good time. I didn't get any better on that trip. It got worse because at one point we're on the beach and they have big signs posted, do not feed the seagulls. What does my crew do? Look, seagulls, do you want Pringles? And they're crushing a whole can of Pringles. And I'm like, and what was worse is it was my Pringles. Not their Pringles. They ate their Pringles and looked over and looked at the cheddar Pringles and went, I think the seagulls might like her Pringles. And they're like, you hear them just shaking the can up and just smushing my Pringles. And I'm like, and I was like laying back enjoying myself, had headphones in. And I get greeted to all of a sudden, sand gets kicked in my face. So I pull my headphones out, I look up. And oh my gosh, there is like 20 seagulls right in front of me eating my Pringles. And there's my kids chunking Pringles. These birds. And people
I didn't do that.
are laughing. Well, I don't know if it was you.
I didn't do it. I
People
was
are
in the ocean
laughing
swimming.
because it was funny just seeing all these birds at right in front of us. And I look over at my mom and I'm like, do you not read signs? And she's like, no, this is my turn to turn into my mom. Do you not read signs? And she's like, what are you talking about? It says, do not feed the birds or the cats. What does my crew do? We feed the birds and the cats.
I actually threw a meatball.
Yes, I know, I'm getting to that one.
I threw a
So-
meatball.
At this point, we have 20 seagulls right in front of our
Get to the cat.
little platform. We have like this platform and an umbrella. And I'm chilling because we have a red flag that day. So we're going to play in the sand and I'm going to tan.
Good.
Well, we now have 20 seagulls in front of this. People are laughing. Now there's 100 kids flocking to the seagulls. Seagulls, seagulls. My kids are chunking Pringles. I'm now embarrassed. I look over at Mom, was like, and she's like, I didn't see a sign that says that we couldn't feed the birds. I'm from Florida, and you can feed the birds. And I'm like, there's a sign as you're coming out to the beach. Don't feed the cats. Don't feed the birds. She feeds the birds. We now have a flock of seagulls, not the 80s band. Flock of seagulls that are like and flopping around and fighting over food. And of course, what do? I end up opening another package of food and there's a seagull, like literally a foot from me going, and I'm like, I think it's time to go back to the room. That's it. So I get my mom back. I wait till like we're in a group of people and I decide to tell her a funny joke. I looked at Mom and I said, Mom, I have something to tell you that I think you might find interesting. Yeah, they'll feed the sharks. And she's like, what? I said, I have a newfound respect for seagulls. And she's like, really? I thought you hate seagulls. You call them rats with wings. And I said, but now, after seeing them eat all of my Pringles, I have decided that I have a newfound respect for them.
I'm not coming to you.
She's like, well, what do you, she's interested in my story. And I said, you throw Pringles, you throw food at them. They come in and eat them. I did this in a group of people in an elevator. My mom died 12 times before that elevator ride ended. We get up to the room. She's looking at me and I'm looking at her and I'm like, 2 minutes later, my daughter is chunking meatballs and stuff over the edge because the poor kitties looked hungry. Again, right where the kitties were sitting, big sign, don't feed the cats. And now we have cats under our balcony. Now we're like 3 stories up. Under our balcony. Meow. Meow. And there's my kids. Oh, it's so cute. Thank you, kitty. There's a piece of cheese. And what's bad is at this point, one of the people that work at the hotel come walking by and stop and see food just, because you can't see the kids from the 3rd floor. You just see, and cats. And seagulls now, because the seagulls have been alerted. So,
Guess what, guys?
And the cats and seagulls are fighting. Now, at this point, my head bobs slightly over to see, because I seen a man coming up, and I'm like, oh, dear Buddha. And I'm like pushing kids back in them. Shh, don't alert them that it's us. Just get back in your room. So I get them back out of the balcony, and here I am on the balcony, and I'm like, looking down at the man, he now only sees this. And he looks up, and I look down, and he looks up, and I look down, and I'm like,
Guess what, guys?
and then I do this, pointing at the balcony next door, which just so happens, the person next to us that I was pointing at come out into the balcony, and he seen him, and he was like, I pointed at the sign, and the person looks down at him, and then looks over at me, and I'm like, at this point, I kind of slurk back into the shadows and shut the door. And I sit on the little couch there, and my mom's looking at me. She's like, "What's wrong? You look white and scary. I can't tell if you're gonna like go weird on us or you're having a bad time." I said, "Will you people start reading signs and start going by them? Stop feeding the birds and the cats, because that man down there almost kicked us out of the hotel." So the next day, my kids are out on the balcony. I hear them laughing. I'm like, So now they say they got no food from now on in the hotel room. I did. I ended up locking the balcony, which thank goodness the lock was up so high. So you hear, you got it alerted when they went to get the balcony. You hear them jumping, I can't reach it. Here, get on my back and get it. And I'm like, by this time I'm standing behind the kids like,
Mommy, you actually see me standing on my tippy toes.
at one point I thought they were going to chunk their brother off the balcony. I'm not joking, because the balcony has bars big enough that my son probably could stick his head through and fall off. So of course I wouldn't let them go on the balcony without me seeing them. I hear this. When you hear my children laugh, like a cackle, like I've got one kid that has a cackle. And I'm like, and you hear another one. And then you hear another one. Shh, shh, shh. That's the oldest one. Shh, 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 shh. Mom will hear. Shh. Guys, shut up. Shh, shh, shh.
I didn't.
You do too sometimes say that.
I
Yes,
do
you
not.
do. And then the youngest one's like, okay, what am I supposed to do? Shh. What I want you to do. And I'm sitting there. I mean, at this point, I'm like, I can't take no more.
Seriously, mascara.
Huh? Anyway, they apparently, the twins were trying to see if their brother could fit through the bars.
No, what?
That's not in the same chat. This is the chat. That's another one. Anyway, was trying to fit through the bars. So at this point, all I come out to see is my son's head through the bars, and apparently it's stuck. He's holding the bars going, and I'm like, should I leave him? Maybe I should leave him. He'll learn his lesson. But then I start thinking, what if he just kept going? Then I hear the twins, okay. Turn your head like this. So he turns his head only to get his nose caught. So it's like, and I'm like, and I look at my mom, because my mom grew up in a house full of children. I mean,
She said good night.
Oh, good night. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I just told my mom that.
My mom grew up in a house full of like brothers, like 12 of them. I grew up an only child, so I didn't have any of this excitement growing up. Excitement / weirdness. But anyway, so he's like stuck. His head's turned, and he's like hitting his face on the bars. And my mom by this time comes out of the bathroom because she was taking a shower, and she's staring, and then looks over at me like, "Why in the world are you letting this go on?" I don't know why I'm letting it go on. I'm just waiting to see how long it takes him to realize that his head's not really stuck, that if he just turns it normal and pulls it back through, he's okay. So I hear one of the twins, I think you need to go tell Mom. The other one, I ain't going to go tell Mom. She going to be mad. I haven't at this point forgot where my oldest one is. She may have already went to bed. And it's just going on. Do you have a flashlight? I can't see how his head's stuck. So about that time, I'm like, I can't have it. I can't do it anymore. I stick my hand through and pop his head back out. No tears, no blood. He didn't die. I look over at everybody, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Night. And, okay, you're cooking dinner late. Of course, it's late for me anyway.
Yeah.
So there's never a dull moment in our house. There's always something. And vacations seem to be the best.
Yes.
We went crab hunting. And we had like a bucket full of little crabs. And I told my oldest one, we cannot take the crabs back to the hotel room.
We did.
She got rid of most of them except for 4 of them. But they blended in with the seashells we had. We take them in, I hear whispering. Not thinking nothing, it's bedtime. There's probably why they're whispering. Only here, apparently, my son stuck his hand in. It got on his hand. He screams like a little girl, starts flinging the buckets everywhere. We have sand and crabs running everywhere. Rest in peace, crabs. I've never seen them again. I felt so bad for them because they were just like, and gone. I don't know. I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. I was just thinking of the weird stuff that we've had happen. Like I was thinking like a lot of people where we live go to the Great Smoky Mountains. And there's like this place you go where you can like,
Sorry.
no officer, I promise I haven't been drinking tonight.
Stop with the flash. Sorry. Let's take pictures. Are we crazy? No, Christian.
That you can go
Stop.
to the Smoky Mountains and the light. I don't know.
Yeah, it's my phone, guys. Sorry.
They probably get that.
Oh,
They're not challenged.
because you stuck your phone in the thing.
But you can go and like see bears and feed the bears. And like when last time we went to Smokies, I was like, we're gonna go through here and see the scenic view and the bears. And we got halfway there and I stopped and went, I changed my mind, I don't want to go. And my mom was like, why? I said, there's bears. And she's like, yeah, but we're in the car. I'm like, there's bears. And I looked down and there's like a floorboard full of food. You know, chips, cookies, you know, stuff that we travel with. And my mom looks at me and I look down at the food and I look over her and she's still not getting it. I'm like, the beach. You fed the seagulls and the cats. I don't want to feed the bears. I like my limbs. Needless to say, that's all she needed. She turned the car back around and we didn't go. So, which would have been, I think, I need to take them to one of those zoos that you drive through where you have like camels, you can like feed them through the window and they can come in and like steal stuff and you see kids, ah! I need to do
They
that.
also do that with the ostriches.
Ooh, they peck. I need to do that with my kids. So like one of my kids will be like, I'm gonna feed the
It's been a
animal.
long time
And it
since I
sticks its
moved.
head in and they're like, because that would be my kids. Like, I'm not scared of, oh my goodness, that bird's coming at me.
Guys, my wish is to become a YouTuber. Never mind.
Well, this is my channel.
Let me
You
just
can
go
YouTube
ahead.
on your channel.
I'm so sorry.
But like I said, guys, the weirdness. But it's fun
Hi.
for 90% of it until
Good
there's.
night, everybody. Good night. I'm leaving.
Oh, I got bit again.
I think if you have a blank, I'm not using it.
I'll just get hot.
To be honest.
You had a mountain lion walk in your yard this year. Dear Buddha. Of course, I can't say much. Where I used to live was literally out in nowhere. It's just trees. The nearest hospital is like an hour and 15 minutes away. They have to med fly you from there if it's really bad. Police don't even come out there. I don't know how many times I called the police for reasons and they didn't come out. So we were literally around trees and psycho neighbors. You know, Deliverance. Dun, 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 dun. That's what it feels like. But anyway, we're living out there, and I didn't want to move out there, so I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you that. And I was told they were showing me pictures of these snakes that have a longer stretch than my arm to arm, and it's about as big around as my arm, if not bigger.
It's either anacondas or.
And I went, dear Lord, do we have anacondas? And they're like, no. There's like a research lab up in Tennessee, close to the border or the state line. And they're rattlesnakes.
What?
You're telling me that a rattlesnake is that big? That's a freaking python or anaconda. No, it's a rattlesnake. It's got the rattler. There's a research lab close to this poo hole that let loose 30 of these snakes, and you people want to live here? Oh yeah, I seen one. It come crawling into our yard and killed our dog. One of them took out a bunch of someone's cattle. Didn't believe it until one day I was driving to go pick my kids up from school, and one was stretched across the road. It literally reached the whole length of the road and was as big as around as my arm, if not bigger. I stopped in front of it because I heard this story that if you run over a snake that you can throw it back up into your car and it could come out of like a vent. So I'm now sitting here for a snake crossing. Staring. What's bad is at some point his head picked up from the grass and looked over at me like, and I looked at it and it looked at me and I was like, and it did. Only to find out a month later, yeah, we got I think in Alabama we have regular bears. Suddenly out of nowhere we have like the really mean bears, the really big mean bears. They're up there too. Yeah, it took out somebody's cow or something. I was like, giant snakes that are python anacondas with rattlers, mutant bears that rip people's heads off. Oh yeah, and by the way, I know Alabama don't have this, but we have like panthers now. What in the dear Lord did this research lab dump? And why the heck do you people want to live here? At this point, I was out one night, because I'm stupid, by the way. I'm out one night, cause, like I said, because I'm stupid. And I'm filming something, and it's dark. I mean, you can't see nothing. And something white goes running by. And I go, what was that? Now, common sense would tell you, go back inside, Lily. No. Not me. I'm going to see what it is. Maybe it's a ghost. Not thinking about the anacondas and bears and panthers. About this time, I see something white standing behind a tree looking at me, and I'm looking at it, and this screech comes out, like a woman dying on crack. I mean, it's a blood-curdling sound. And it's looking at me, and I'm looking at it, and for the life of me, I don't know what in the sweet baby Jesus that was. I don't think it was a ghost. It wasn't a panther because it was standing up. So at this point, I'm going to say this, and all honesty, and I'm serious as a heart attack. I think that place has skinwalkers. I'm not joking. I mean, we got giant anaconda pythons with rattlers, mutant bears, panthers, mountain lions, stuff that's not supposed to be in Alabama. And now I'm staring at something white staring at me, screaming at me. I am 99% sure that was a real skinwalker. Stupid me goes, look guys, can you see that? And still staring at it. And it stares at me and then takes off running. So at this point, it's either a skinwalker or one of the rednecks up there got high as a kite and put a sheet on and went running through the woods. My money's on any of that. I'm just gonna say it. Weird. Just to go let you know, I don't live up there anymore. And you couldn't pay me to get back up there because the redneck neighbors next to us one night had a free-for-all and started shooting at each other. And a bullet hit our house and came, like you could see it partially come through the sheetrock. Right about maybe a foot above where we were sitting. Yeah. So like I said, it could, all fairness, been one of those rednecks to be like, this would be fun, and put a sheet on and went running through the woods screaming at each other. Maybe they were shooting at each other. I don't know.
Maybe they were having a death chase.
Maybe they're having a death chase. I don't know. At this point, I think about all the things that I lived through the 4 years I lived up there and think, why? Why did I stay up there?
After you telling me that, I'm gonna be more scared. Like, I'm staying out here, make sure nothing gets to you,
well,
because I'm scared.
Well, where we live now, it's all some Hatfield and McCoy stuff up there. I don't know. The people up there are really weird. I went to church one time and they were all talking about who all they were related to. And the more they started getting in depth of who they were related to, I was like,
that's what Bob does.
so you and you are related, like 4 or 5 down the line, but you're married. You guys need to stop because you're confusing me and it makes it sound like y'all are marrying each other. It's just weird. And now I know why they didn't like me. I'm not from there. I'm new.
Mom, that's how she is. Because, like, she keeps talking about family. Next thing you know, I pop out of nowhere. New cousin pops up. I'm just like, I have another cousin?
Swamp rats? What is a swamp rat? And where do you live? Because you sound like you have like a foxes, bobcats, mountain lions, black bears, coyotes, rattlesnakes, cottonmouths, black snakes, raccoons, possums, rabbits, deer, elk, skunks, minks, and swamp rats.
She lives in the woods.
You live in the woods, don't you? Or at least I hope so. I hope that's not like just, there's giant rats that live near...
I've seen giant rats on the internet. I do not like them. They are demons.
I like going to the creek. Now you ruined it for me because I don't like rats. What? Somebody was telling me about a rat, and I, for the life of me, could not figure out what it was. It wasn't a skunk rat. I don't know. It was some weird name that they said they were aggressive as crap. They were just like, it got in the house and it's the size of a cat and it was like shredding stuff and terrorizing the house. And I was like, I don't remember what they said, but I just remember, I'm hoping maybe they were just pulling. No, it wasn't a muskrat. I don't know what it was, but it has like some weird name that sounded aggressive. And they were talking about it when I lived up there. So I'm assuming it must be just native to that area. And they called it like a weird name, not like a gorilla rat or a, Now we don't have muskrats here, I don't think. What's it called? No, not a possum. I don't know. It was something. It was the size of a cat and it was severely aggressive and one accidentally got into their house. And I don't know. The name alone made me kind of go, what? I have never heard of that. No. I just, they got done talking about how they like threw it in a closet and locked the door and it was like trying to like, I don't know. It was I don't know. Maybe they were pulling my leg. Maybe it was a chupacabra. Anyway. I've living up there was like living like, you know how we read creepypastas? I'm pretty sure everyday life was a creepypasta up there. It was, I mean, weird people shooting at each other and animals. And did you hear about that guy that went missing over there? What guy? Where did he go missing? What was he doing? Oh, did you hear about that one guy? He was like walking down the road and somebody hit him and just left him. One, why was the guy walking down a road like that? And two, they hit him and left him?
That sounds like something my neighbors actually do.
Apparently they graffitied the road that was something very racist and it was all over the news. And they seemed proud of it up there. Yep. And I'm like, call the police because, you know, there was I really needed the police, so I called the police. I waited 2 hours and never come out. Oh yeah, the police don't come out here. Why? Isn't that their job? Oh, Billy Bob, I think a couple years back came out this way toward this area and something happened. They like mugged him and almost killed him. No, they don't come out here. Okay, if the police won't come out here, why am I living here? Giant mutant bugs, this, that. We have, Alabama's not supposed to have scorpions. I found a scorpion in our house. Either that or somebody was trying to kill me. My money's on somebody who's trying to kill me. Anyway, so police won't come out. Normal people were like, people I knew were moving off of this mountain. And I'm like, why did we move to this mountain? It's almost like when they have that joke about even the mob left Las Vegas. Even normal people are leaving this area and we move out here. Okay, just gonna roll with it. What's wrong?
I heard something.
Might be the cat. Our neighbor has a cat that he don't feed or take care of, and it comes over here to get fed. Yeah, it comes over here to get fed. Yeah. So we feed the cat, and the cat scares the poodle scoodle out of me because I'll be out here talking, and all of a sudden the cat will just jump over, and I'm like, mountain lion just got me. I'm sorry. My asthma's been kicking in today.
Well, today whenever we played this certain game, I started to have like this asthma attack, and I was like, I'm gonna have to use my sister. I can't breathe in here. Cause like they would.
What's wrong with the police in Houston? Nervous. The police here, I'm gonna be honest with you, where I live most of my life and where I live now, the police are amazing. They're Johnny Bar on the gate. They're there to get you. But where I used to live, I don't know. I don't even think Satan would want to live there. It's that bad. So like when I moved out here, we needed some help from the police, and we talked to somebody, and they we have people patrolling. I had the other day a police officer follow me from my house to the school. And I thought, like, oh my gosh, I started like pouring sweat and like doing my Hail Marys because like I can't afford a ticket. And I was like doing under the speed limit. And I went to turn into the school. And as soon as my turn signal went on to go to the school, his lights come on. And I'm like, I pull over, he comes out and he looks at me startled. And I'm like, he's like, can I see your license and registration? And I'm getting my license and registration, proof, insurance, wedding. And he goes, are you okay? And I'm like, nope, think I'm going to have a heart attack. Why? And I'm like, because I can't afford a ticket? Duh. And he looks at me and he signals to somebody behind my car. I didn't notice, but there was another police officer who was now searching like through the windows of my car. He takes my stuff, he leaves, he runs it's just a bug. He takes my stuff. I call Mom. I'm like, Mom, brace yourself. I think I'm going to get a ticket. I'm not even sure what I did wrong. He comes back. It's the other guy. He's like, oh, calm. He's like, you're all right. We're not going to give you a ticket. And I'm like, you thought I was somebody else, didn't you? He's like, because see, my car is registered to someone else. And, it's my car, but it's registered to someone else. It's a long story. I'm not going to get into it. And I believe I got pulled over because they thought that was that person and that the other person was in the car abducting me and we were going to get the kids to abduct them. So our law enforcement here is really over the top, but the law enforcement up there wasn't. I mean, good luck. I hope you don't die. So let's see. The police in Portland's gone, like metaphorically, or like they were disbanded, like there's no police in Portland.
City's gone now. That's the reason why. It's no longer-
Oh yeah, glad you knew that.
Well, I was just reading using my big galaxy brain.
I forgot about that. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's burnt to the ground, so yeah, they don't need. Yeah, sorry. I don't really watch the news very much, so until somebody like informs me, like, and I do remember like when it happened, my mom saying, "Look what happened." So just pretend I didn't say anything. I knew that happened. That's what you meant. But I guess you spend so much time on Facebook and people talking about how blue lives don't matter and we need to disperse our old police. I just, for some reason, was thinking that that's what you were talking about, and I was like panicking because that's no good.
Also, it's late, so you must be thinking something else.
Yeah, my brain's kind of starting to shut down.
That's all mine was, so I got 3 problems, so I'm on a nap.
I think I heard that, I agree, we need more police now than ever. And we're so quick to videotape how bad the police are, but they're also trained no matter what color you are or who you are, female or male, if you're breaking the law, you're breaking the law. Now, I'm also not saying that there's not police officers out there that do push their power, because I've been pulled over by a police officer and he literally was pulling me over, I think, to intimidate me to go out on a date with him. Luckily, my dad come flinging around the corner and that was done with. But I'm not saying all police officers are bad. I'm not saying all police officers are good. So I just kind of leave it as, I don't know. Because I hate to say it, the stuff that you see on the news, it looks like police officers, what they're doing is bad. But we never get to, like, I never see the full story. What was the person doing before the police started doing it? Was it just the police overreacting, or was it something worse? So, I mean, I don't know. And I'm going to stay out of it. I'm going to cut it off there because I guess I'm like with evil. I'm up in the air about it. You've got your good, you got your bad, and everything. And I don't know. I still think we need more police now than we do ever because, I mean, we just got a whole city gone. It's just gone. So, and I'm not really sure. What was the story about Portland? Was it the the police or riots? I'm not sure. It seems like somebody was talking to me about it, and it was. Anyway, I'm just gonna change the subject. I'm just gonna go on. It's getting late, guys. What do you want to keep talking, or I know I'm gonna change the subject, but you guys okay? Still keep going, or you're like me? It's late, because I'm fine. I can keep going, but I can also go to bed. Yes, change the subject. I agree. Let's change the subject. I don't know. Let's talk about Joji. Have any of you listened to the new CD? And I will wait for comments. Okay, I can keep going. All right. We shall keep going. Yes, I agree. Let's change the story and we can try to keep going. If you guys have been watching the channel, I have not kept it a secret. I am a humongous Joji fan. Now, I don't know if you guys know who he is or not. I got asked today, is he part of like a Korean pop, K-pop? And I'm like, no, he's not. On that one. I don't know how to explain it. Okay, maybe this will help. Have you heard of Filthy Frank and Pink Guy? And I'll wait and see if any of you have heard of. You know what I'm talking about. How about the Joji and Frank mix? If you know about Filthy Frank and Pink Guy, they were old school YouTubers. You had Max Mofo, iDubbbz, anything for the views. Oh great, my neighbors are more coming home. How many people live over there? How to Basics and and Filthy Frank. They were all like original old school YouTubers. They were funny, they were cringy, and they were just off the wall. I mean, you talk about my randomness, their randomness is like off the chart. So Filthy Frank was a character created by George Miller. And of course, he had come up with Pink Guy, Safari Man, Salamander Man, Chin Chin. The list goes on and on with it. And they were just, it was fun. And at some point, Pink Guy started rapping. So you had Pink Guy. Apparently, George Miller got tired of doing this on YouTube. And YouTube was changing its algorithm. So he stopped in 2017. And Chin Chin was my favorite. Well, is my favorite, and then Safari Man. I like Safari Man. You probably won't. They're bad language. Bad. Yeah, he did kill Frank, but in all fairness, that very last video that he uploaded, this is, I guess, where I get confused because Joji, George Miller, posted on Twitter that he was done with the whole Filthy Frank era and was never bringing him back. But if you watch the last video on Filthy Frank, Frank hands the book to Pink Guy, passing on the torch. Don't let them get you. They're not that powerful. There's bigger and badder out there. And Chin Chin gets Filthy Frank. He supposedly gets banished. A Peace Lord banishes Chin Chin. And then the Peace Lord tells Pink Guy, don't worry, Frank is more powerful than you know. He will be back. Only for Joji to 2 weeks later post this done. Yeah, I ain't doing this no more. So Joji went on to, I mean, George Miller went on to do Joji. He's Joji. He has a bunch of music, and every year he's uploaded more and more and gotten bigger. I mean, he was on Jimmy Fallon March. I think it was like March 1st, something. He was on Jimmy Fallon, and he just released a new CD, Nectar, last night at midnight. I'm not going to lie to you when I said that I was going to stay up for it. Somehow around 10ish, I'd on the bed. And then my phone alerted me that somebody was messaging me. And what was that? That was the weirdest noise ever.
I started hearing barking and I'm trying to figure out what it was. I don't know if it was inside
I think it was
far away.
the neighbor next door. And I got woke up, I got alerted to an email and somebody messaging me. The email was telling me, by the way, you know, a couple months back you bought some merchandise from Joji, so you have like a free upload, well, not free upload, but a digital download as well. So I'm like, I'm gonna go, you know, I start, you know, getting Apple open and uploading, and I answer my message, and I sit down with and start watching, well, not watching, listening to the CD, and I don't know, I'm not gonna go too much into it because I think Wednesday I'm gonna do a music review, because I need to listen to it a couple more times because it's amazing, but it's different. And for me, I have a problem with different, like when you have your favorite artist, you have this CD that you've been listening to, love it, and then they come out with a new one and they kind of deviated and did something new, and now I've got to kind of reprogram and get into that. And that's kind of what Joji, I feel, has done, because, you know, with him, he has Chloe Burbank, In Tongues, Ballads 1, and then Nectar. Each one is different than the last. I would say In Tongues and Ballads are very similar, but Ballads 1 is more professional than In Tongues. Now, what blew my mind is most of his CDs have like 8 to possibly 12 songs, give or take. I think In Tongues has 6 or 8. This new one had 18. One thing I will give away before I even get to the review Wednesday is when somebody has that many songs on a CD, you're going to guarantee at least 3 to 6 songs you're just going to be skipping over to get to your faves. So I'm going to say. Now you're going to have to come back Wednesday to figure out if I'm going to say something extremely terrible or extremely good. I'm going to say I'm on the fence about the CD. I'm being very diplomatic. I am a big Joji fan, but I'm also not going to say I like something if I don't 100% like it. Freebird. I will have to say that I'm going to struggle doing the review because there is a couple of songs on the CD that's going to be hard for me to review, but we're going to do it. And I got a crick in my neck. Sorry, guys. I'm going to have to sit back for a second. I got a crick in my neck. But I'm on the fence about the CD. I'm not going to come out and say that it's the best CD I've ever heard. But I also think I'm going to listen to it between now and uploading the video before I give a 100% review on it. Because there's one thing I did have a problem with is as soon as the CD came out, within an hour, people were already posting reviews of the CD. In an hour, because the CD is an hour, you either just randomly listened to the songs and skipped over and played around and just kind of gave a critique of the CD. But I think music needs to marinate. I mean, unless you just absolutely listened to it and hated it, I think it needs to marinate. So if it was played at midnight last night and you are having an upload within 2 hours of the initial release, I think you're just uploading that review at this point to just get some notoriety. Which, speaking of which, I got sent 3 messages today that really made my day. And it has to do with Joji, so I'm not completely changing the subject. I did a music review on Saw Baby and Joji last night. Yeah, last night. And didn't think nothing more about it. It aired. I did the premiere, left it, and went on. This morning, I received. My mom said something to me because she was trying to find my review. Because she got to hear me recording it, but she didn't get to hear the song. So she wanted to see my facial expression when I listened to the song, but she got to hear the review. So she was looking for it, and so she typed in Joji because she didn't really know what to be looking for because she's not, YouTube. And when she typed in Joji, I was fourth on the list, and Mom was like, "Isn't that a big deal that I typed in Joji and your name came up in the middle of that?" And I'm like, "No, it's not that big of a deal. It's probably just your phone, or it maybe YouTube knew what you were looking for. I doubt YouTube is promoting me. Okay, just gonna say that." 3 other people sent me a message saying, "Oh, good night." 3 other people sent me a message saying, your name pulled up when I was typing in Joji's new CD. So I don't know if that was just a fluke or what, but that's made my day. Maybe YouTube's gonna throw me a bone here. But I'm really not gonna get into the music review tonight. 1, I'm tired. 2, I really don't understand people getting in to a music review. I think it's something that you need to listen to. Like when I do a movie review, I've probably watched the movie at least more than once and looked it up. When you do a music review right after CD come out, there's nothing to go look up, and you've probably barely listened to the CD. So I'm gonna give it almost a full week before I upload anything. I am torn because Joji dropped like a double whammy last at midnight. He did the CD, got the CD, and then at 9 o'clock this morning he did a music video to one of the songs, Your Man. Oh, good night. Thank you for stopping by. He uploaded a video. Usually I do like a music video review for Joji, but I also have a CD, so I don't really want to put them together. So I might have 2 videos. I don't know, guys. I'm getting tired, and everybody about flipped right out of this chair. I don't know. Everybody's getting tired, and I'm getting tired. So I don't know if I should just keep going or. Would you like some? Just keep going or just cut it short, because it is. Usually we go about 2 hours on a live stream. What time is it? Yeah, it's about this time when we usually stop. I'll go a couple more minutes and call it a night. I am a little tired, and it's my own fault. Like I said, the CD came out at midnight, and I'm not gonna lie, after I listened to it, I didn't want to go to bed. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say the whole CD is terrible. There's a couple of songs on there that blew me away. I'm not gonna lie. And one of them he did a music video for today, so I don't know. I'm drinking water, but it just looks so cool in this glass. So I usually have sweet tea, but this late I'm not going to drink any caffeine or sugar because. When did you guys get cookies?
Like at 9 something maybe. We got oatmeal raisin cookies.
They got cookies. I didn't get no cookies.
Yeah, Nani left you out.
Oh, she did? Oh, I'm special. She let me cookies. Makes me think of Sam and Dean. This is why you never got the extra cookie. Actually, this glass I got from the Dollar Tree. Well, my mom did. I'm like a collector of glasses. If it's cool or awesome, I'm probably gonna have it. And so she come in and she had like this bag. I could see glasses through the bag, and I'm like, "What did you get?" And she pulled this one out, and she's like, "It is yours." And I went, so I've drank my coffee in this, not in this the same glass. I wash it. But like I've had coffee, I've had tea. I would be a collector of shirts. For a while there was a collector of shirts. Like I had shirts from just everything I like. Like I had shirts from like vacation spots. I had shirts like Joji, Pink Floyd. I mean, if it was something I liked, I had a shirt for it. But I kind of toned down on that because, you know, no job kind of helps that out. But anyway, I'm also a collector of like, I do need to work on merchandise. I've had lots of people message me and be like, we've been waiting for it. When are you going to do it? And I need to knuckle down. I need to get on a schedule, get my videos uploaded ahead of time, and start on merchandise. I do. Oh, I like those. Guys, I'm going to call it a night. I am tired. I think I've actually run out of stuff to say, which is actually scary because I never run out of stuff to say. I could talk. This is probably why people don't take me. Ooh, I like those too. That's probably why people don't take me fishing because I won't hush. They won't take me fishing. They won't take me hunting. I promise I'll try to be quiet. See, I run out of things to say after a while. Just hand me a cup of water and I'll shut up. Anyway, guys, I'm going to call it a night. I don't know if anybody's still left in the chat. I think a lot of people, thank you. At least you don't think I talk too much. I'm going to call it a night because I think everybody else is starting to call it a night. They're like, dang it, I'm tired. Are you going to ever shut up? So we can just say night. I'm going to say night, guys. Go ahead and say it. Several things to you guys. Wrap it up. And then shut my pie hole and go to bed. One, you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, PayPal, all the above. When I get this up, sorry, and I got the burps. Oh, and it tastes like, anyway, not good. Night. Even though you're sitting next to me. But you can find me on PayPal. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram. You can find me. I'm always around. I'll try to leave it in the links below. Next week, I don't think we'll have a horror movie upload because it takes so long. Now, my goal is to every other week have a horror upload and then maybe get to a groove of getting it every week. But they are so hard. I mean, it's not just narrating, it's memorizing or setting things up to get into it. So every other week for that one. So next week, I don't think we're going to have a horror movie coming out because I don't think I can get it done. I might, maybe something might happen, but I don't think so. Wednesday, I think I'm going to do a Joji nectar review. I know everybody's probably doesn't always want the reviews, but I like them. And then Thursday, I may do a music video review. And then the following week, we'll go back and we'll have a live stream on Friday. And then the following week, we'll go back to our regular scheduled broadcast. So anyway, I'm going to go, guys. I hope you've had a good night. One second. There's like something flashing. You were doing it. I was going like I was chasing it. Party. Anyway, guys, I'm getting weird. I'm just gonna stop before it gets. And plus, my voice keeps echoing, and I can just hear my neighbors. Yeah, because I just like said something and went echo, and I was like, time to stop. Plus, it's getting to about that time when the neighbors could probably call the cops on me. So again, I love you guys. I hope you guys are doing good. Stay safe, stay hydrated. Of course, summer's about over with, so hydration, I guess you still need it for the winter. So stay safe, stay hydrated. I love you guys. If you don't have me on TikTok,
I'm thinking about the cat and
I'm thinking of Tic Tacs. Maybe I'm thinking my breath stinks. Anyway, you can find me on TikTok, and I do a lot of stuff that's funny on there. So do you want to be my friend on TikTok? I love you guys. Stay safe. Have a great and amazing weekend. Stay safe. Stay hydrated. I love you guys. I'll see you later. Bye.